Hi friends, welcome to our YouTube channel Raj Academy. The meaning of this lecture is to discuss about the TSPSC General Studies solutions in a very detailed manner. If you like the content of our channel, then please do like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon button. So whenever we upload a new video, the direct notification comes from mobile. If any improvements needed in our video lectures, then please do comment in the comment section. We will definitely include all those improvements in the coming lectures. So why to waste more time? So let's get started. So now we are going to solve the first question of this new episode 3. See the question here. Which port is called as the Queen of the Arabian Sea? Option A Kochi, option B Mumbai, option C Surat, option D Kandla. So are the four options. Option A Kochi port is called as the Queen of the Arabian Sea. So let's discuss something more facts about this one. So now we'll discuss some of the important facts of the Kochi port. Kochi port is also called as the Cochin port. So it is famously called as the Queen of the Arabian Sea, and it is located in the Kerala, and the chairman of this Kochi port is M. Beena. She is an IAS officer. So this Kochi port is basically a spice trading center. It is basically a spice trading center from the 14th century onwards with the Arab merchants. So from the 14th century onwards, this port is very famous for the spice trading center with the Arab merchants. So basically this Kochi port is famously called as the Queen of the Arabian Sea. So in the question they asked which port is called as the Queen of the Arabian Sea. So basically Kochi port is called as the Queen of the Arabian Sea. So now we are going to solve the second question. See the question here. Which state has the highest road density in India? So which state has the highest road density in the India? So option A Maharashtra, option C Goa, option C Kerala, option D Tripura. So are the four options. Option C Kerala. Kerala is the only state which has the highest road density in India. So let's discuss something more facts about this Kerala. Now we are going to know about something more about this road density. Road density is nothing but it's the ratio of the length of the road in a state by the area of a particular state. So this road density is nothing but we are going to divide the ratio between the length of the road which is present in a state by the area of a particular state. So if you do this one, so the road density is very highest in the Kerala. The length is 375 with 375 kilometers, and the road density is very least in the Jammu and Kashmir with a length of 10 kilometers only. Because and so in Kerala there are 8 national highways which are present in the Kerala, which are the NH47, NH17, NH49, NH47A, NH208, NH212, NH213, NH220. So these are the 8 national highways which are present in the Kerala, and the total length of all these national highways in the Kerala is 1523,954 kilometers. This is the total length of all the 8 national highways which are present in the Kerala. And Kerala has the road density very highest because there are no deserts. All the roads are totally occupied, and therefore there is no barren land. So because of all these reasons only, Kerala has the highest road density when compared to remaining all states in India. So now we are going to solve the third question. See the question here. How many biosphere reserves are there in India? So in the question they are asking how many biosphere reserves are there in India. Option A 10, option B 12, option C 16, option D 18. So for the four options, option D 18 is the correct solution of this question. So 18 biospheres are present in the India. So let's discuss something more facts about this. So now we'll discuss some of the important facts of the biosphere reserve. So UNESCO is going to make some of the places in all over the world as a biosphere reserve. Means in these places the human existence must not be there. Means the human is prohibited in enter into this biosphere reserve. Means he must not enter. So always the human and nature respect each other, and they have to coexist in both in a mutual way. So that is the reason the UNESCO is going to designate some of the important places in all over the world as a biosphere reserves. So the full form of the UNESCO is United Nations Educational, Scientific and the Cultural Organization. So the main aim is here the human must not enter, means he is prohibited to enter in this biosphere reserves. So therefore there are 18 biosphere reserves in India, which are the Coal Desert, which is present in the Himachal Pradesh, Nanda Devi, which is present in the Uttarakhand, and Kanchenjunga, which is present in the Sikkim, and Dihang Dibang, which is present in Arunachal Pradesh, and Manas is present in the Assam, Dibru Saikhowa is present in the Assam, Nokrek is present in the Meghalaya, Pana, which is present in the Madhya Pradesh, and Anchakar Amarkantak, which is present in the Madhya Pradesh, and Kanch, which is present in the Gujarat, and Simipal, which is present in the Odisha, and Sundarban, which is present in the West Bengal, and Sheshachalam, which is present in the Andhra Pradesh, and Agastyamalaya, which is present in the Karnataka, and Nilgiri, which is present in the Tamil Nadu, and Gulf of Mannar, which is present in Tamil Nadu, and Great Nicobar, which is present in Andaman and Nicobar. These are the 18 biosphere reserves in India which are human is prohibited to enter into this biosphere reserves in order to protect these places as for the animals living. So finally, what I am trying to say is there are total 18 biosphere reserves which are present in India. Now we are going to discuss the fourth question. See the question here. Yellow revolution relates to production of. So yellow revolution relates to production of option A fish, option B oil seeds, option C egg, and option D milk. So what are the four options? Option B oil seeds. So yellow revolution relates to production of the oil seeds. So let's discuss something more facts about this one. So now we'll discuss some of the important facts of all the revolutions and the father of these revolutions. So oil seeds is related to the yellow revolution. So yellow revolution means oil seeds, and the father of the yellow revolution in India is Sampit Roda. Sampit Roda is the father of the yellow revolution in India. And similarly, the fish is related to the blue revolution. So the father of the blue revolution is in India is Dr. Arun Krishnan and Hiralal Chaddari. And similarly, egg is related to the silver revolution, and the mother of the silver revolution in India is Indira Gandhi. And similarly, milk is related to the white revolution, and the father of white revolution in India is the Verghese Kurian. And similarly, the agriculture is related to the green revolution, and the father of green revolution in India is the M.S. Swaminathan. And the poultry is related to the pink revolution. So the father of pink revolution in India is the Durgesh Patil. And similarly, honey and fruits, the production is related to the gold revolution. So the father of the gold revolution in India is the Nirpakash Tutaj is the father of the gold revolution in India. And similarly, the meat and tomato is related to the production of the red. So is related to the red revolution. So the father of red revolution in India is the Vishal Tiwari. So these are the important revolutions and the corresponding production, and the father or the mother of these revolutions in the India. So now we learn some of the important facts here. Mahatma Gandhi is called as the father of the nation, and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is called as the father of the modern India or the father of the Republic India. These are also some different facts here. So out of these, compulsory one question will be asked in any of the TSPSC question paper. So now we'll discuss the last question of this lecture. See the question here. Who was the president of the Nizam Andhra Yuvati Mandali established in 1935? So option A Durgabai Deshmukh, option B Mallu Swarajyam, option C Adilakshmi Devi, option D Sarojini Naidu. So what are the four options? Option C Adilakshmi Devi was the president of the Nizam Andhra Yuvati Mandali established in 1935. So let's discuss something more facts about this one. We'll discuss some of the important facts of this Nizam Andhra Yuvati Mandali. It was established in the 1935 in Hyderabad by the two women, which are the Ellaprada Sita Kumari and the Illandra Saraswati. So in this session, they have discussed the importance of the women and also equal rights, as by the man they also want the equal rights. So education and all those things are discussed in this session. So the main agenda of this Sabha is for the importance of the women in the society. So Adilakshmi Devi was the president of the Nizam Andhra Yuvati Mandali, which was established in the 1935. So in the option, Adilakshmi Devi was the president of the Nizam Andhra Yuvati Mandali. So the importance of this Mandali is nothing but about the women importance in the society. So in this lecture, we have successfully completed the 5 questions which are the previous year TSPSC General Studies questions in a very detailed manner. If you like the content of our channel, then please do like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon button. So whenever you upload a new video, the direct notifications comes to your mobile. If any improvements needed in our video lectures, then please do comment in the comment section. We will definitely include all those improvements in the coming lectures. Thank you so much for watching this lecture. Keep smiling, take care, and bye bye.